In the vast expanse of the Northern Hemisphere, where temperatures plummet to unimaginable depths, lies one of Earth's most formidable proving grounds. Here, in the heart of Canada's wilderness, winter is not merely a season, but a relentless force of nature that tests every living creature to its absolute limits. Snow blankets the ground for 8 months of the year, transforming familiar landscapes into alien worlds of white. The wind howls across endless tundra, carrying with it the promise of death for any creature unprepared for its fury. This is a land where polar bears rule ice kingdoms larger than entire countries, where wolves hunt in coordinated packs across territories that span hundreds of square miles, and where the smallest creatures employ the most ingenious survival strategies ever conceived by nature. The Arctic fox changes not just its behavior, but its very appearance to match the seasons. The caribou undertake migrations that put human endurance to shame. The snowy owl becomes a ghost of the tundra, perfectly adapted to hunt in conditions that would blind other predators. From the towering peaks of the Canadian Rockies to the endless expanse of the Arctic tundra, from the dense boreal forests to the frozen coastlines where ice meets ocean, this is nature's masterclass in survival. Every heartbeat is earned. Every breath is a victory against the elements. And every dawn brings new challenges that separate the survivors from the fallen. Welcome to Canada's frozen wilderness, where only the strongest, smartest, and most adaptable creatures can claim victory over winter's merciless reign. The Canadian wilderness stretches across nearly 10 million square miles, encompassing diverse ecosystems that each present their own unique survival challenges. From the Hudson Bay coastline, where polar bears wait for the sea ice to form, to the boreal forest where lynx stalk through snow-laden evergreens, this vast territory demands different survival strategies from its inhabitants. Competition here is not just between predator and prey, but between all living creatures and the environment itself. The food chain becomes compressed during winter months, as resources dwindle and become harder to access. Predators must work harder for smaller rewards, while prey animals must balance the need for nutrition with the constant threat of becoming someone else's meal. Weather patterns across Canada create microclimates that can mean the difference between survival and death. The Chinook winds of Alberta can raise temperatures by 30 degrees in a matter of hours, providing temporary relief, but also creating dangerous conditions as ice melts and refreezes. In the eastern provinces, ice storms coat everything in a crystalline shell that makes foraging nearly impossible for weeks at a time. The boreal forest, stretching in an unbroken band across the continent, becomes a complex three-dimensional maze in winter. Snow weighs down branches, creating tunnels and passages at ground level, while opening new pathways through the canopy. Animals must learn to navigate this transformed landscape, where familiar routes disappear under meters of snow and new dangers lurk behind every snow-laden branch. Canada's northern territories encompass a remarkable variety of habitats, each demanding specific adaptations from the creatures that call them home. The tundra stretches endlessly toward the horizon, a landscape so vast and seemingly empty that it challenges the very concept of life's persistence. Yet beneath its deceptive simplicity lies one of the world's most complex and delicately balanced ecosystems. The boreal forest, or taiga, forms the world's largest terrestrial biome, wrapping around the northern hemisphere like a green collar. In Canada, this forest ecosystem covers nearly 75% of the country's total land area. During winter, it transforms into a cathedral of white pillars, where snow muffles sound and creates an almost otherworldly silence broken only by the occasional crack of freezing wood or the distant call of a surviving bird. The transition zones between these major habitats create unique opportunities for wildlife. Where tundra meets forest, where mountain slopes descend into valleys, where rivers cut through frozen landscapes. These edge environments concentrate resources and create microclimates that many species depend upon for survival. At the northernmost reaches of Canada, where the Arctic Ocean meets the frozen land, a massive white shape moves silently across the sea ice. The polar bear, weighing up to 1,500 pounds and standing 3 meters tall on its hind legs, represents the ultimate apex predator of the Arctic realm. Its very presence commands respect from every other creature in this icy domain. The great bear pauses at the edge of an ice floe, its black nose testing the air for the scent of seals below. This moment of stillness belies the incredible physiological adaptations that allow this massive predator to thrive in temperatures that regularly drop below -30 degrees Celsius. Its fur is not actually white, but transparent, each hollow hair fiber trapping air to create an insulation system so effective that the bear can remain comfortable on ice while surrounded by frigid water. Beneath this remarkable coat lies a layer of blubber up to 11 centimeters thick, providing both insulation and energy storage for the long months when hunting opportunities become scarce. The bear's huge paws, measuring up to 30 centimeters across, function as natural snowshoes, distributing its massive weight across unstable ice surfaces, while providing the traction needed to pursue prey across slippery terrain. The polar bear's hunting strategy requires patience that would test human endurance. It may wait motionless at a seal's breathing hole for hours, conserving energy while remaining ready to strike with lightning speed when its prey surfaces for air. When the moment comes, the bear's powerful forearms, capable of delivering a blow with the force of a sledgehammer, can haul a 300-pound seal from the water in a single motion. During the brief Arctic summer when sea ice retreats beyond practical hunting range, polar bears enter a state of walking hibernation, slowing their metabolism to survive on stored fat reserves. Pregnant females take this adaptation to its extreme, creating snow dens where they give birth to cubs no larger than guinea pigs and nurse them through the winter on milk that contains over 30% fat content. The polar bear's domain extends across the entire Arctic region, but the population around Hudson Bay in Manitoba represents one of the most studied and accessible groups. Here, these magnificent predators gather each autumn, waiting for the bay to freeze solid enough to support their hunting activities. The sight of dozens of these massive bears congregating on the shores creates one of nature's most spectacular wildlife gatherings. As the polar bear reigns supreme over the sea ice, deep in the tundra interior, another apex predator demonstrates the power of cooperation over individual strength. The Arctic wolf, smaller than its southern cousins, but infinitely more adapted to extreme cold, moves through the landscape like a gray ghost against the white snow. A pack of wolves crests a ridge overlooking a valley, where a small herd of musk oxen has taken shelter from the wind. The pack leader, a female weighing 100 pounds, pauses to assess the situation. Her breath creates small clouds in the -20-degree air as she evaluates the risks and opportunities presented by potential prey that collectively outweighs her pack by more than 10 to 1. Arctic wolves have evolved several crucial adaptations that allow them to thrive where other subspecies would perish. Their shorter legs and more compact bodies reduce heat loss, while their smaller, rounded ears minimize the risk of frostbite. Most remarkably, their paws have evolved to be more rounded and heavily furred, providing both warmth and improved traction on ice and packed snow. The The pack spreads out across the valley in a coordinated hunting formation that represents thousands of years of evolutionary refinement. Unlike their southern relatives, Arctic wolves cannot rely on stealth through forest cover. Instead, they must execute their hunts across open terrain where every movement is visible to their prey from miles away. This has led to the development of incredibly sophisticated pack strategies that require precise timing and communication. The hunt begins with a test of the musk oxen's defenses. The wolves approach at a steady trot, not yet committed to an attack, but gauging the herd's reaction. The musk oxen respond by forming their famous defensive circle, adults facing outward with their young protected in the center. Their massive horns and coordinated defense make them nearly impregnable when properly organized. For the next 2 hours, the wolves probe for weakness. They take turns charging the defensive line, looking for signs of injury, age, or inexperience that might provide an opening. This patient approach is crucial for Arctic wolves, who cannot afford to waste energy on unsuccessful hunts in an environment where their next meal might be days away. The wolves' social structure becomes evident during this extended hunt. The alpha female coordinates the pack's movements with subtle body language and brief vocalizations. Younger pack members learn by observation, gradually understanding the complex interplay of timing, positioning, and cooperation that makes their species one of the Arctic's most successful predators. When the pack finally identifies a weakness, a young musk ox that has broken from the defensive formation, their coordinated attack demonstrates predatory efficiency refined over millennia. The successful hunt provides enough food to sustain the pack for several days, a crucial advantage in an environment where hunting opportunities may be separated by vast distances and long periods of severe weather. While the wolves celebrate their successful hunt, a nearly invisible presence watches from a distant ridge. The snowy owl, perched motionless on a rocky outcrop, appears to be part of the landscape itself until a subtle turn of its head reveals the penetrating yellow eyes that mark it as one of the Arctic's most efficient predators. Weighing up to 5 pounds with a wingspan reaching 160 centimeters, the snowy owl represents the ultimate adaptation of aerial hunting to Arctic conditions. Unlike most owl species that depend on forest cover for camouflage, the snowy owl has evolved to become nearly invisible against the white landscape of the tundra. The great owl launches itself from its perch with wings that make no sound as they cut through the frigid air. This silent flight, achieved through specialized feather structures that eliminate the turbulence that creates noise, allows the owl to approach prey completely undetected. Its flight path takes it low across the snow-covered ground, following the subtle contours of the landscape as it searches for the movement that will betray its next meal. A slight disturbance in the snow 40 meters ahead catches the owl's attention. Its extraordinary hearing, enhanced by asymmetrically placed ears that allow for precise location of sounds, has detected the movement of a lemming in its tunnel system beneath the snow. The owl's ability to hunt prey it cannot see, using only sound to guide its strikes, represents one of nature's most remarkable hunting adaptations. The attack comes with startling suddenness. The owl's powerful talons punch through 30 centimeters of packed snow to grasp a lemming that had thought itself safely hidden in its winter tunnel. The successful strike demonstrates the incredible precision required for this hunting technique, as a miss would mean wasted energy in an environment where such waste can be fatal. Snowy owls have developed several remarkable adaptations for Arctic survival beyond their hunting prowess. Their feet are completely feathered, providing insulation that allows them to perch on frozen surfaces for hours without losing dangerous amounts of body heat. Their digestive system is incredibly efficient, able to extract maximum nutrition from every meal and produce pellets containing the indigestible remains of their prey. During years when lemming populations crash, snowy owls demonstrate remarkable flexibility by expanding their diet to include rabbits, fish, and even young birds. Some individuals migrate south during these lean years, appearing in agricultural areas of southern Canada and the northern United States, where they hunt rodents in farm fields. The snowy owl's breeding cycle is intimately tied to prey availability. In years of abundant lemmings, a pair may raise up to 11 chicks, each requiring multiple prey items per day. The male owl may catch and deliver over 1,000 lemmings during a single breeding season, a hunting achievement that demonstrates both the efficiency of their predatory adaptations and the remarkable abundance that can exist in Arctic ecosystems during peak years. Far from the snowy owl's hunting grounds, across hundreds of miles of tundra, one of nature's most spectacular migrations is reaching its climax. The caribou, known as reindeer in other parts of the world, move across the landscape in numbers that defy comprehension. Their annual journey representing one of the last great wildlife spectacles on Earth. A herd of nearly 100,000 caribou stretches across the tundra as far as the eye can see. The rhythmic clicking of their tendons, an adaptation that helps them maintain contact with each other in blizzard conditions, creates a sound like distant rain as thousands of hooves move across the frozen ground. This massive congregation represents just one of several major caribou herds that traverse the Canadian Arctic, following migration routes established over thousands of years. The lead animals in this procession are the mature cows, their navigation abilities honed by years of experience traversing this challenging landscape. They know instinctively where to find the windswept ridges where snow cover is thinnest, allowing access to the lichens and grasses that form the caribou's primary winter food source. Their ability to locate these feeding areas across vast expanses of seemingly uniform tundra represents one of nature's most remarkable navigation systems. Each individual caribou carries its own survival toolkit perfectly adapted to Arctic conditions. Their hooves change with the seasons, growing longer and sharper in winter to provide better traction on ice and snow, and developing the ability to function as effective snow shovels for uncovering buried vegetation. Their double-layered coat consists of dense, insulating underfur covered by hollow guard hairs that trap air for additional warmth. The migration itself serves multiple survival functions beyond simply following food sources. The constant movement helps caribou avoid the worst effects of biting insects during summer months and allows them to distribute grazing pressure across vast areas, preventing overuse of any single habitat. During winter, the movement becomes a race against time and weather, as the herd must reach areas with adequate food before their fat reserves become depleted. A sudden change in wind direction causes ripples of movement through the herd as thousands of animals adjust their positions to maintain the optimal balance between wind protection and forward progress. This collective behavior emerges from the simple responses of individual animals, but creates a group intelligence that helps the entire herd navigate challenges that would overwhelm any single caribou. The caribou's survival strategy becomes most apparent during severe weather events. When blizzards strike, the herd forms dense clusters that can contain thousands of individuals. Animals on the outside of these groups gradually work their way toward the center, creating a continuous rotation that ensures no individual becomes too cold. This behavior can mean the difference between survival and death during storms that may last for days. As the great caribou herd continues its endless journey across the tundra, a much smaller but equally remarkable survivor watches from a distance. The Arctic fox, weighing no more than 15 pounds, demonstrates that size is not always the determining factor in Arctic survival. This diminutive predator possesses perhaps the most complete set of cold weather adaptations of any Arctic mammal. The fox's most famous adaptation is its seasonal color change, a transformation so complete that summer and winter individuals appear to belong to different species entirely. The summer coat of mottled brown and gray provides perfect camouflage against the tundra's rocky outcrops and sparse vegetation. As winter approaches, this coat is gradually replaced by pure white fur, so dense that the fox can curl up in a ball and remain comfortable in temperatures approaching -50 degrees Celsius. A young fox demonstrates the efficiency of its winter insulation system by settling into a shallow depression in the snow. Within minutes, its body heat has created a custom-fitted shelter that provides additional protection from wind while requiring minimal energy to maintain. The fox's bushy tail, nearly as long as its body, serves as both a blanket and a breathing filter, warming incoming air and preventing dangerous heat loss through respiration. Arctic foxes have evolved the most flexible diet of any Arctic predator, an adaptation that allows them to survive in an environment where food sources can be unpredictable and widely scattered. During summer months, they hunt lemmings with the efficiency of much larger predators, their exceptional hearing allowing them to locate prey moving in grass or under light snow cover. A single fox may cache hundreds of lemmings during peak abundance, storing them in permafrost that acts as a natural freezer. When lemming populations crash, Arctic foxes demonstrate remarkable adaptability by switching to entirely different food sources. They become skilled scavengers, following polar bears to feed on seal carcasses, or trailing wolf packs to claim the remnants of their kills. Some foxes specialize in raiding bird colonies, while others learn to fish in shallow streams or hunt marine invertebrates along the coast. The fox's reproductive strategy reflects the boom and bust cycles typical of Arctic ecosystems. During years of abundant prey, a pair may produce up to 25 kits, one of the largest litter sizes of any wild canid. These large families require enormous amounts of food, with parents making hunting trips every few hours throughout the continuous daylight of the Arctic summer. The territorial behavior of Arctic foxes changes dramatically with prey availability. During abundant years, territories may be as small as a square mile, but when food becomes scarce, a single fox may range over an area exceeding 75 square miles. This flexibility in territorial requirements allows Arctic fox populations to persist through the dramatic population cycles that characterize Arctic ecosystems. Deep in a protected valley where ancient migration routes converge, a small herd of musk oxen has gathered to weather the worst of winter's fury. These magnificent animals, unchanged in appearance since the last ice age, represent one of nature's most successful solutions to the challenge of surviving Arctic winters without migration or hibernation. The largest bull in the herd, weighing nearly 900 pounds, stands like a monument against the howling wind. His massive curved horns and shaggy coat give him an appearance more suited to prehistoric times than the modern world. Yet every aspect of his anatomy represents millions of years of refinement for Arctic survival. The musk ox's most distinctive feature is its incredible coat, called kiviut by the Inuit people who have shared their Arctic homeland with these animals for thousands of years. This undercoat is finer than cashmere and 8 times warmer than sheep's wool, providing insulation so effective that snow landing on a musk ox's back will not melt. The outer guard hairs, reaching nearly to the ground, create a wind-resistant barrier that protects the insulating undercoat from moisture and maintains its thermal efficiency even in driving snow. When threatened, musk oxen demonstrate a defensive strategy that has proven effective against predators for millennia. The adults form an impenetrable circle with their heads facing outward, presenting a wall of sharp horns and massive bodies that few predators dare challenge. Calves are protected in the center of this formation, safe from all but the most determined and coordinated attacks. The herd survival depends heavily on the experience and leadership of the dominant bull. His knowledge of traditional wintering areas, passed down through generations of musk oxen, guides the group to locations where wind patterns keep snow cover thin enough to allow access to buried vegetation. These traditional wintering grounds represent accumulated wisdom about Arctic survival stretching back thousands of years. musk oxen have evolved a remarkably efficient digestive system that allows them to extract maximum nutrition from the poor quality forage available during winter months. Their four-chambered stomach can process tough, fibrous plants that would be indigestible to most other mammals, while their reduced metabolic rate during winter helps conserve energy when food quality is at its lowest. The calving season demonstrates the remarkable hardiness of these Arctic survivors. Calves are born in late spring when temperatures may still drop well below freezing. Yet within hours of birth, they are able to follow the herd across challenging terrain. Their rapid development is crucial for survival in an environment where the window of favorable conditions is measured in weeks rather than months. South of the treeless tundra, where the first scattered spruces mark the beginning of the Great Boreal Forest, an entirely different survival drama unfolds. The Canada lynx, moving silently through snow that would immobilize most cats, demonstrates how predatory efficiency can be refined to exploit a single prey species so completely that predator and prey populations rise and fall in synchronized cycles. The lynx pauses beside a fallen log, its enormous paws keeping it on top of snow that measures 60 centimeters deep. These natural snowshoes, nearly twice the size of those found on any other wild cat, allow the lynx to pursue its primary prey, the snowshoe hare, across terrain where other predators would founder. The lynx's disproportionately long legs provide additional advantage in deep snow, giving it a distinctive high-stepping gait that conserves energy while maintaining pursuit speed. A subtle movement in the underbrush catches the lynx's attention. Its exceptional vision, adapted for hunting in the low-light conditions of the northern forest, detects the outline of a snowshoe hare nearly invisible against the snow-covered vegetation. The hare's own winter adaptations, including white fur and heavily furred feet, make it nearly as well suited for winter survival as its primary predator. The hunt that follows demonstrates the evolutionary arms race between predator and prey that has shaped both species over millions of years. The lynx's initial pounce covers 4 meters in a single bound, but the hare's explosive acceleration and ability to change direction instantly allows it to escape the first attack. What follows is a high-speed chase through dense forest, with both animals displaying remarkable agility as they navigate around trees, over fallen logs, and through thick brush. The lynx's hunting success rate, even with all its adaptations, averages only about 1 successful kill for every 3 attempts. This relatively low success rate explains why lynx populations are so closely tied to hare abundance. During peak hare years, lynx may hunt successfully every day, allowing them to raise large litters and expand their populations. When hare numbers crash, as they do approximately every 10 years, lynx populations follow suit, creating one of the most dramatic predator-prey cycles in nature. Female lynx demonstrate remarkable reproductive flexibility in response to prey availability. During abundant years, they may produce litters of up to 6 kittens, while during lean years they may not reproduce at all. This reproductive strategy allows lynx populations to recover quickly when prey becomes abundant again, but also means that individual lynx must survive extended periods of food scarcity. The lynx's solitary nature becomes crucial during winter months when prey is scarce and widely scattered. Each individual maintains a territory that may exceed 40 square miles, a range large enough to encompass multiple habitat types and provide access to alternative prey when snowshoe hares become scarce. This territorial system ensures that the landscape's limited prey resources are utilized efficiently without wasteful competition between individuals. In the depths of the boreal forest, where ancient trees create cathedral-like spaces between snow-covered trunks, the most fearless predator in North America goes about its relentless search for food. The wolverine, weighing no more than 55 pounds, possesses a reputation that far exceeds its modest size, and for good reason. This stocky, bear-like creature combines strength, endurance, and pure tenacity in proportions that allow it to thrive in conditions that challenge much larger predators. A wolverine works methodically to uncover a caribou carcass that has been buried under 2 meters of snow for over a month. Its powerful claws, each nearly 8 centimeters long, make short work of the packed snow, while its exceptional sense of smell guides it to the exact location of the frozen meat. This ability to locate and recover cached food represents one of the wolverine's most important survival strategies, allowing it to take advantage of abundance during good times and retrieve these resources during periods of scarcity. The wolverine's physical adaptations for Arctic survival are remarkable for an animal of its size. Its dense, oily fur resists frost formation even in the most humid conditions, while its broad, heavily clawed feet function as natural snowshoes that allow it to travel across soft snow with ease. Most remarkably, the wolverine's jaw muscles are proportionally stronger than those of any other land predator, giving it the ability to crunch through frozen bones and consume every part of a carcass. Wolverines maintain some of the largest territories of any land predator, with individuals ranging over areas that can exceed 300 square miles. This enormous range reflects both the wolverine's incredible traveling ability and the scattered nature of food resources in the northern wilderness. A single wolverine may travel over 25 miles in a day, crossing mountain ranges and traversing valleys in its endless search for food. The wolverine's fearless nature becomes legendary when it encounters other predators. Despite its relatively small size, a wolverine will drive bears, wolves, and even cougars away from their kills through sheer aggression and determination. This behavior is not mere bravado, but a crucial survival strategy that allows wolverines to supplement their own hunting with food obtained through intimidation and persistence. Wolverine reproduction reflects the harsh realities of survival in the far north. Females delay implantation of fertilized eggs until environmental conditions are optimal, a strategy that ensures cubs are born only when food resources are adequate to support their rapid growth. The den sites, typically located in deep snow dens that remain stable throughout winter, provide protection from both predators and weather, while maintaining the consistent temperatures needed for successful cub rearing. The wolverine's role as nature's cleanup crew becomes particularly important during winter when carrion provides crucial resources for many Arctic species. Their ability to break down frozen carcasses and scatter the remains helps distribute nutrients across the landscape while providing feeding opportunities for smaller scavengers that lack the wolverine's powerful jaws and claws. While larger predators compete for the most visible resources, one of the Arctic's most successful survivors relies on the opposite strategy. The snowshoe hare, also known as the varying hare, has perfected the art of disappearing in plain sight, using camouflage and behavior modifications so effective that it can remain nearly invisible even when surrounded by predators. A hare crouches motionless in a shallow depression beneath a snow-covered bush, its white winter coat rendering it virtually invisible against the surrounding snow. Only its dark eyes and the tips of its ears, tinged with black, provide any contrast against the monochrome landscape. This remarkable camouflage represents one of nature's most dramatic seasonal transformations, as the same animal that displayed mottled brown summer fur now appears to have been carved from fresh snow. The transformation from summer to winter coat involves more than just color change. The winter pelage is nearly twice as dense as the summer coat, providing insulation that allows snowshoe hares to remain active throughout even the coldest Arctic nights. The individual hairs are hollow, trapping air to create an insulation system so efficient that hares can maintain normal body temperature while sitting motionless on snow for hours at a time. The hare's oversized hind feet, which give the species its common name, serve multiple survival functions beyond their obvious role as natural snowshoes. These broad feet provide the traction needed for explosive acceleration when escaping predators, while their heavily furred undersides prevent heat loss when the hare is sitting on snow or ice. The feet also serve as effective digging tools for accessing buried food sources during periods of heavy snow cover. Snowshoe hares have evolved behavioral adaptations that complement their physical modifications for winter survival. They create a network of well-traveled trails through their territory, paths that become compressed highways allowing for high-speed travel when escaping predators. These trail systems are maintained throughout winter, with hares investing considerable energy in keeping routes clear of snow and debris. The hare's feeding strategy during winter demonstrates remarkable efficiency in extracting nutrition from marginal food sources. They consume their own fecal pellets, a behavior called coprophagy that allows them to extract maximum nutrition from poor-quality winter browse. This adaptation, combined with their ability to digest woody plant material that is nutritionally unavailable to many other species, allows snowshoe hares to maintain stable populations even during the harshest winter conditions. As darkness falls across the boreal forest, creating the long nights that characterize the northern winter, a different aerial predator takes control of the hunting grounds. The great horned owl, larger and more powerful than its Arctic cousin the snowy owl, demonstrates how behavioral flexibility can allow a species to thrive across a wide range of environmental conditions. Perched on a dead snag overlooking a frozen stream, a great horned owl surveys its territory with eyes that gather light with remarkable efficiency. Each eye is larger than a human eye, despite the owl weighing only 4 pounds, and their tubular shape allows for exceptional light gathering ability that makes hunting possible even during the darkest winter nights. The great horned owl's hunting strategy differs significantly from that of the specialized snowy owl. Rather than focusing on a single prey type, great horned owls have developed the ability to hunt everything from mice to skunks, from fish to other birds of prey. This dietary flexibility becomes crucial during winter, when traditional prey species may be scarce or difficult to access. A rustle of movement in the snow-covered underbrush attracts the owl's attention. Its asymmetrically placed ears, hidden beneath the feather tufts that give the species its name, allow for precise triangulation of sounds, even when prey is completely hidden from view. The owl's head swivels with mechanical precision, tracking the movement of a vole tunneling beneath the snow. The attack demonstrates the power that makes great horned owls one of North America's most formidable predators. With talons that exert pressure exceeding 400 pounds per square centimeter, these owls can kill prey much larger than themselves. Their silent flight, achieved through specialized feather structures that eliminate noise, allows them to approach prey completely undetected until the moment of impact. Great horned owls begin their nesting activities in the depths of winter, often taking over the abandoned nests of hawks or eagles. This early breeding season allows their young to fledge during the spring abundance when prey is most available for feeding growing owlets. The male's deep hooting calls, carrying for several miles through the still winter air, serve to maintain contact with his mate and warn competing owls away from the territory. The species' adaptability extends to habitat selection, with individual pairs adjusting their hunting strategies based on local conditions. Forest-dwelling owls focus on mammals and birds, while those near water bodies may specialize in fishing and hunting waterfowl. This behavioral flexibility has allowed great horned owls to maintain stable populations across their enormous range, despite significant variations in climate and habitat. A small herd of wood bison moves slowly through snow that reaches their bellies. These magnificent animals, larger than their plains cousins, and infinitely more rare, represent one of conservation's greatest success stories, and demonstrate how the largest herbivores can survive in landscapes that challenge even the most specialized Arctic species. The lead bull, weighing nearly 2,000 pounds and standing 2 meters at the shoulder, uses his massive head as a snowplow to clear feeding areas for the rest of the herd. His thick winter coat, consisting of dense woolly underfur covered by coarse guard hairs, provides insulation so effective that snow accumulating on his back shows no signs of melting despite his body temperature of 38 degrees Celsius. Wood bison have evolved several crucial adaptations that distinguish them from plains bison and allow them to thrive in northern environments. Their legs are proportionally longer, providing better mobility in deep snow, while their heads are larger and more angular, creating more effective tools for snow removal. Their winter coat is significantly denser, with individual hairs reaching lengths of over 10 centimeters on the shoulders and neck. The herd's social structure becomes particularly important during winter when cooperation can mean the difference between survival and starvation. Older, experienced cows lead the group to traditional wintering areas, where centuries of use have established the most reliable feeding sites. These areas, often located in valleys protected from prevailing winds, provide access to grasses and sedges that remain available throughout winter. Wood bison demonstrate remarkable efficiency in their winter feeding behavior. They use their heads and hooves to sweep away snow, creating craters that may be several meters across and expose the dried grasses beneath. Other herd members take advantage of these cleared areas, creating a cooperative feeding system that maximizes energy gain while minimizing individual effort. The calving season for wood bison coincides with the brief northern spring, when rapidly melting snow creates lush meadows of new growth. Calves born during this window of abundance grow rapidly on their mother's rich milk, building the fat reserves and body size they will need to survive their first winter. The synchronization of birth timing with optimal environmental conditions represents thousands of years of evolutionary fine-tuning. Wood bison populations crashed to near extinction in the early 20th century, with fewer than 200 individuals surviving in a single remote location. Through careful conservation efforts, populations have been slowly rebuilt and reintroduced to portions of their historic range, demonstrating both the species' remarkable resilience and the importance of protecting the vast wilderness areas these animals require for survival. Where streams remain unfrozen due to current or geothermal activity, one of Canada's most playful predators continues its aquatic lifestyle, even as temperatures plummet far below freezing. The North American river otter, weighing up to 30 pounds, possesses adaptations that allow it to thrive in partially frozen waterways, where other semi-aquatic mammals would quickly succumb to hypothermia. A sleek otter surfaces in a pool of dark water surrounded by ice, its whiskered face appearing comically surprised by the frigid air temperature. Within seconds, it has shaken the water from its dense coat and slipped back beneath the surface, demonstrating the remarkable efficiency of its aquatic adaptations. The otter's fur consists of nearly 1 million hairs per square inch, creating an insulation system so effective that the animal's skin remains completely dry, even during extended underwater hunting sessions. The otter's winter hunting strategy takes advantage of the fact that fish become sluggish in cold water, making them easier prey for a predator equipped with the right adaptations. Its streamlined body, powerful tail, and webbed feet allow it to maneuver through ice-covered waters with grace, that borders on artistry. The otter can remain underwater for up to 8 minutes, using its sensitive whiskers to detect the movement of fish, even in complete darkness. Ice formation creates unique opportunities for river otters, as fish become concentrated in smaller areas of open water. An otter may learn the locations of dozens of breathing holes and current breaks across several miles of river, creating a three-dimensional territory that includes both underwater hunting grounds and above ice travel routes. These routes are maintained throughout winter, with otters sliding across snow and ice between access points in a form of locomotion that appears playful, but serves serious survival purposes. The otter's social behavior intensifies during winter, as individuals that might be solitary during summer months come together to share the most productive hunting areas. These temporary aggregations provide benefits beyond simple resource sharing, as multiple otters can more effectively locate and exploit schools of fish, while providing mutual protection against terrestrial predators that might threaten individuals at breathing holes. River otters modify their denning behavior significantly during winter, often creating multiple shelter sites along their waterways. These dens, typically located in natural cavities along riverbanks or under root systems, are lined with dried grasses and maintain temperatures well above freezing through body heat and insulation. The ability to quickly access warm, dry shelter becomes crucial for an animal that must repeatedly transition between frigid air and near-freezing water. Female otters demonstrate remarkable timing in their reproductive cycle, using delayed implantation to ensure that their young are born during late winter when ice conditions are most stable, but food resources are beginning to increase. The kits, born blind and helpless, remain in the den for nearly 3 months before making their first tentative explorations of the aquatic world that will define their lives. Against the stark white backdrop of the snow-covered forest, a pair of ravens work together to access a frozen carcass that has defeated numerous other scavengers. These remarkable birds, weighing just over 2 pounds each, demonstrate problem-solving abilities that rival those of much larger mammals. Their glossy black plumage stands out dramatically against the winter landscape, yet this apparent disadvantage in camouflage is offset by intelligence that allows them to exploit resources unavailable to other species. The larger of the two ravens, likely the male, grips a sturdy stick in his powerful beak and uses it as a lever to pry apart sections of frozen meat. His partner positions herself to catch falling pieces, demonstrating the kind of coordinated behavior that has made ravens one of the most successful species in the northern wilderness. This tool use, once thought to be unique to primates, represents just one example of the cognitive flexibility that allows ravens to thrive in environments where most birds cannot survive winter conditions. Ravens have evolved several crucial adaptations for surviving the extreme cold of the Canadian wilderness. Their feathers possess extraordinary insulating properties, with dense down close to the skin covered by longer contour feathers that can be adjusted to trap varying amounts of air depending on temperature conditions. More remarkably, ravens can alter their metabolic rate seasonally, slowing their energy consumption during winter months, while maintaining the brain function necessary for their complex problem-solving behaviors. The raven's social intelligence becomes particularly apparent during winter when food resources are scarce and widely scattered. They maintain complex relationships with other ravens across territories that may span hundreds of square miles, sharing information about food sources through vocalizations that function as a primitive but effective communication system. Young ravens learn not just where to find food, but how to process it, how to cache it for future use, and how to defend valuable resources from competitors. Their opportunistic feeding strategy makes ravens essential components of northern ecosystems. They clean up carrion that might otherwise harbor disease, disperse seeds across vast distances, and even form commensal relationships with large predators, following wolf packs and polar bears to feeding sites where they can access food sources beyond their individual capabilities. This ecological flexibility has allowed ravens to maintain stable populations across the entire circumpolar north. The raven's breeding cycle demonstrates remarkable adaptation to northern conditions. They begin nesting activities in late winter, often while snow still covers the ground and temperatures remain far below freezing. Their early nesting allows young ravens to fledge during the spring abundance when learning opportunities are greatest and food sources most diverse. The nest construction itself showcases their intelligence, with pairs selecting sites that provide optimal protection from wind, while maintaining access to thermal updrafts that reduce the energy costs of flight. Deep in the forest interior, where ancient spruces create windbreaks that moderate the worst effects of winter storms, a very different survival strategy unfolds. The North American porcupine, moving with deliberate slowness through the snow-covered underbrush, represents one of nature's most successful examples of passive defense adapted to extreme winter conditions. A large male porcupine, weighing nearly 45 pounds, methodically strips bark from a white birch tree, his specialized incisors working with mechanical precision to access the sugar-rich cambium layer beneath. His movements are unhurried, almost meditative, reflecting a survival strategy based on efficiency rather than speed. The 30,000 quills covering his back and sides catch the filtered sunlight streaming through the forest canopy, creating a natural armor that allows him to feed without the constant vigilance required by most herbivores. The porcupine's winter adaptations extend far beyond his famous defensive quills. His digestive system has evolved to extract maximum nutrition from woody plant material that would be indigestible to most mammals. A complex gut microbiome breaks down cellulose and lignin, allowing porcupines to subsist entirely on bark, twigs, and evergreen needles when other food sources are buried under snow. This dietary flexibility becomes crucial during the long months when ground-level vegetation remains inaccessible. Porcupines demonstrate remarkable energy conservation strategies during winter months. They reduce their activity levels significantly, spending up to 19 hours per day resting in tree cavities or rocky dens that provide protection from wind and precipitation. This semi-dormant state allows them to survive on minimal food intake, while maintaining body temperature through metabolic adjustments that reduce energy requirements by up to 30%. The porcupine's climbing abilities become essential survival tools during winter, when ground-level food sources disappear under deep snow. Their powerful claws and specialized footpads provide secure grip on icy bark, allowing them to access tree crowns where tender shoots and nutritious buds remain available throughout winter. Some individuals spend entire weeks in single large trees, moving methodically from branch to branch as they consume available food sources. Their solitary nature serves them well during winter when social interactions would waste precious energy. However, porcupines do gather in communal dens during the most severe weather, sharing body heat while maintaining the individual space their quills naturally provide. These temporary aggregations demonstrate that even the most well-defended animals benefit from cooperation during extreme conditions. The timing of porcupine reproduction reflects their energy conservation strategy. Mating occurs in autumn, when both sexes have built up fat reserves from summer feeding. but implantation is delayed so that young are born in late spring, when food quality begins to improve. This reproductive strategy ensures that the energy demands of lactation coincide with the period of greatest food availability. Far from the terrestrial struggles of the forest floor, in the ice-covered waters of Hudson Bay and the Arctic Ocean, one of the North's most specialized survivors demonstrates that marine environments present their own unique challenges for winter survival. The beluga whale, with its distinctive white coloration and bulbous forehead, has evolved to thrive in waters that freeze solid for much of the year. A pod of 15 belugas surfaces simultaneously in a small area of open water, their synchronized breathing creating clouds of vapor that instantly freeze in the -30-degree air. The lead female, distinguishable by her larger size and the scars that mark her as an experienced matriarch, navigates the group toward deeper water, where the risk of becoming trapped by shifting ice is minimized. Her ability to read ice conditions and predict safe travel routes represents decades of accumulated knowledge that can mean the difference between survival and death for the entire pod. Beluga whales possess perhaps the most complete set of adaptations for Arctic marine life of any mammal. Their white coloration provides camouflage among ice flows, while their lack of a dorsal fin allows them to swim directly beneath ice sheets without injury. Most remarkably, their flexible necks, unique among whales, allow them to turn their heads to navigate through narrow openings in ice formations that would trap other cetaceans. The beluga's echolocation system has evolved specifically for use in ice-covered waters, where visual navigation becomes impossible. Their sonar capabilities can detect breathing holes from several miles away and distinguish between solid ice and dangerous slush that might collapse under the whale's weight. This biological sonar also allows belugas to hunt effectively in the complete darkness that characterizes Arctic waters during winter months. Belugas demonstrate remarkable physiological adaptations for surviving in near-freezing water. Their blubber layer, up to 15 centimeters thick, provides insulation so effective that their core body temperature remains constant even when surrounded by water at -2 degrees Celsius. Their blood circulation system includes countercurrent heat exchange mechanisms that prevent heat loss through extremities, while maintaining circulation to vital organs. The social structure of beluga pods becomes particularly important during winter, when individuals must coordinate their movements to avoid ice entrapment. The whales communicate through a complex vocabulary of clicks, whistles, and calls that carry for long distances through water and can penetrate ice formations. This communication system allows separated pod members to relocate each other and coordinate feeding activities across large areas of scattered open water. Beluga whales time their reproductive cycle to take advantage of the brief Arctic summer when food resources reach peak abundance. Calves are born in warm coastal waters, where they can build strength before facing their first winter migration to ice-covered feeding grounds. The rich milk produced by beluga mothers contains over 27% fat, allowing rapid growth that prepares calves for the energy demands of Arctic survival. Their feeding strategy during winter focuses on prey species that remain active beneath the ice, including Arctic cod, squid, and various crustaceans. Belugas can dive to depths exceeding 700 meters and remain submerged for over 20 minutes, allowing them to access food sources unavailable to surface-dependent predators. This diving ability becomes crucial when ice cover eliminates access to shallow water feeding areas. The pristine wilderness showcased throughout this documentary faces an unprecedented challenge that none of these remarkable species evolved to confront: the rapidly accelerating impact of human activity on their ancient ecosystems. Climate change, driven primarily by greenhouse gas emissions from industrial activities, is transforming the Arctic at a rate that far exceeds the natural pace of evolutionary adaptation. The evidence is unmistakable and alarming. Average temperatures across the Canadian Arctic have risen by more than 3 degrees Celsius since the 1950s, twice the global average. Sea ice, the foundation of polar bear hunting grounds, is forming later and melting earlier each year, forcing these apex predators to fast for increasingly longer periods. The permafrost that preserves cached food for wolverines and Arctic foxes is melting, destroying food storage systems that have functioned reliably for millennia. Industrial development continues to fragment the vast territories these species require for survival. Mining operations, oil extraction, and transportation corridors carve up migration routes that caribou have followed for thousands of years. The noise pollution from human activities disrupts communication systems that wolves and other social species depend upon for coordinated hunting and pack coordination. Perhaps most tragically, the delicate predator-prey cycles that have shaped these ecosystems for millions of years are becoming increasingly unstable. Changing precipitation patterns affect the quality of snow cover that provides insulation for small mammals, while shifting growing seasons disrupt the timing of plant growth that supports the entire food web. The synchronized relationships between species, refined over countless generations, are being broken by environmental changes occurring within single human lifetimes. Yet there remains hope in the remarkable resilience these species have already demonstrated, and in humanity's growing recognition of what stands to be lost. Conservation efforts, indigenous knowledge, and international cooperation offer pathways toward preserving these irreplaceable ecosystems for future generations to witness and study.